you sound like every other freaking realtor out there, okay? Like, come with something unique, something that's going to grab people's attention. And if the message, the guarantee doesn't scare you a little bit, that might be a problem. Like, it's got to be something that's got to be a little bit edgy. Like, I know that I've got a good guarantee when I throw it out there and people are like, well, what if they actually don't do it? Like, all right, now we got something. Welcome to the Whissel Way Podcast. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty Group here in San Diego.
And I'm Bryan Koci, the media director here at Whissel Realty Group.
The goal of the show is to give you the tools, techniques, and tactics to go out there and crush it in your business, whether that be real estate, mortgage, or really just any business out there. If we add some value to your business today, we'd really appreciate it if you are watching us on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified of future episodes of the show. And we drop a lot of other fun videos on there as well. And if you are listening on podcasts, whatever platform you're listening on, if you could hook us up with a review, that would really mean a lot to us. The way we like to run the show is rather than guessing at what it is that you want to hear about, we just listen to you and the questions that you ask us via thewhisselway.com. You can ask us questions on there. You can subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, join our referral network, our Facebook group, and find out about upcoming events like our Media Mayor Mastermind, which is going to be released very, very soon. It's a digital course that we built out that's basically taking everything Bryan and I have learned over the last 6 years of creating thousands of videos together and putting it into a course to shortcut your learning curve when it comes to creating video. So go to thewhisselway.com for all of that fun stuff. All right, Bryan, what's the question of the day?
So today we looked into kind of some past responses, and a lot of the questions we have answered before. But one thing that I don't think we've gone very deep on, we saw some people talking about kind of planning, marketing, business plan stuff. And I thought this was an appropriate time since we just did our first quarter business planning session. And one of the pieces that we really dove in on is the portion of our marketing strategy, which happens to deal with guarantees. And so I thought it would be interesting. We've talked about this before, and we've really dialed down kind of 3 guarantees that we have. I want to know from you how important a guarantee is, how big it should be, and we can talk about what our 3 are.
Okay, cool. First thing is quarterly meetings is something that you should do. I don't care if you are a solo agent. You could do a quarterly meeting with yourself, or you run a team or a brokerage, but it's really good to spend one day a quarter where you just shut everything else off and just focus on how did we do over the last quarter and where are we going in the quarter ahead. I cannot stress enough how valuable that is to your business. So if you're not doing that already, you need to do that. You need to get a quarterly meeting in before this month is over, recap how the first quarter went, and plan out what you want to do over the next quarter. And also reassess, like, what was our annual goal? Are we on track? What do we need to tweak to get back on track? It's just super, super valuable to do those.
And even do we need to tweak our annual goal? Sometimes we're on pace to crush it. Sometimes things happen outside of our control that we wanted to go this way, and we made a pivot in the business, and actually that's not our goal anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, the quarterlies too, the ones that we do at our size now, we're up to about 50 people total within the organization, is just for the leadership team. And so we needed to make adjustments coming into this meeting, where if we didn't have that meeting, we might not have made those adjustments. The fact that we had this meeting and only the leadership team got to be a part of this meeting, it actually forced us to have some conversations that we might not have had otherwise. We might have put those conversations off. So that was also really helpful too, because it gives you this quarterly, like, all right, do we have the right people in the right seats on the bus? No? Well, let's make this change before we go into it. Let's not go into another quarter with maybe we have the right person in the wrong seat. Maybe we have the wrong person in the right seat. So we got to make those adjustments. So it actually kind of forced us to do multiple things leading into that meeting. Yeah. Which is not always fun.
I can tell you from experience, it's not terribly fun.
But sometimes these changes have to happen, and having that quarterly meeting helps force those things to happen. So,
to give some concrete to that, one of the things we switched was putting me into the media director role and putting Kyle into the marketing director role. And when he brought that up, I said, well, if we're going head to head against marketing, I'm not going to beat you. You're definitely an idea guy, and I can implement like crazy. But the last quarter, I worked on having the ideas and implementing, and I didn't do well. And so that was one of the big changes that it's not terribly fun, but I'm actually really excited about it.
Less pressure.
Yeah, exactly. It's less pressure, and I get to do more of the fun stuff back into the media things that I was getting torn on for a lot. So now diving into some other things that I used to do that I really enjoyed, and going to go push hard on those again. Cool.
So one of the big components of marketing and part of the EOS system that we run, so the quarterly meetings that we do is part of EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. If you want to learn more about it, you could read the book Traction or Rocket Fuel. If you are somebody who likes the structure, read Traction. If you like the story, read Rocket Fuel. Both of those will help kind of give you an idea of how that EOS system runs, but we run on it, and a lot of the bigger teams in the country run on that because it just gives you a system to follow for your business, which includes those quarterly offsite meetings. So there's that. Another part of EOS is that you need to identify who your audiences are for marketing, and we break that down into 3. We have buyers, we have sellers, and we have agents. And then within each of those, you nail down the demographic, the psychographic, and the geographic for all 3 of those. You nail down what are 3 unique things that you have to appeal to that segment. And then lastly, what is your one unique or one guarantee? Sorry. What is your one guarantee? 3 uniques, 1 guarantee. So what is that one guarantee that you offer to that demographic? And
the proven process there's a proven process in the guarantee.
Yes. Okay. So demographic, geographic, psychographic for buyers, sellers, and agents. Then you go into your 3 unique. So what are 3 unique things you offer to each of those? What's your proven process? And then what's your guarantee?
Yes.
There we go. Simplified. It's like late afternoon, and I'm like not eating all the sugars and stuff that I've been eating. So body's a little depleted. It's cool. It's cool. Cabo's coming. Got to lose some weight. All right. So let's get into guarantees. So why are guarantees so important? Well, we're in a commodity business. There's, here in San Diego, there's 30,000 plus real estate agents. There's roughly 70 to 80,000 transactions a year that happen. Do the math. 30,000, 80,000 transactions. There's only like 2 to 3 transactions an agent per year that there are to go around. So what are you doing to differentiate yourself from the crowd? What are you willing to offer that nobody else or very few others are willing to offer? I think it's huge. If you think about other businesses, you see it all the time, but you don't see it a whole lot in real estate, right? There's always like, sign up for this course, and if you don't love it, you can leave after the first day and get all your money back, right?
After the first 15 minutes, if you don't complete the course, you can get your money back.
Yeah, or there's like cram courses for real estate, right? Like, take this cram course, we guarantee you a pass it, or you could take it again for free. Okay, it's a weird one, but I've seen it. Like, there's guarantees. I just ordered some parts for my off-road car, and it's got a lifetime guarantee, no questions asked. If you can manage to break our stuff, just send it in, we'll give you a new one. Cutco knives in our industry. I just had a couple of my knives chip. I sent them in and they fixed them. No questions asked. Like, so there's guarantees in a lot of industries, but in real estate, a lot of times we don't have guarantees. We shy away from them. We feel like we're different for some reason, but we're not. Why are we any different than all these other industries out there? So it's a really good idea to have some guarantees in your business. And it could be as simple as one of the ones we talked about on our EXP mastermind today was a cancel anytime guarantee. Like, you want the most simple guarantee, put a cancel anytime guarantee in your agreements.
I love that guarantee.
It's so simple.
It's so simple. And even if you didn't have it in there, you're not going to hold anyone to it or hold anyone to a contract. Sorry, you signed with me for 6 months. I know I totally messed up 3 weeks in.
There are agents. I've actually ran into an agent last year who did that, and I was like, dude, do you do that? Like, do you seriously hold your client's feet to the fire? Like, you can't cancel. Like, this is reputation destruction. Like,
why you would do that? Don't do that. Yeah. So again, if they're like, hey, I don't want to work with you anymore, sucks. You got to work with me. Of course, you're going to let them. most agents are going to let them go. So you put them in there, and then that makes that signing so much easier. They're going, yeah, I'll work with you exclusively, knowing that I can cancel anytime. Sure.
Yeah.
So
cancel,
I love that one.
A cancel any time guarantee is something that you got to throw in there, whatever you call your agreement with buyers, a buyer broker agreement, VIP agreement, buyer advantage agreement, whatever you call it. You should have that in there. Like, why not, right? If a buyer's not happy with you, you're not getting the job done, good luck, right? If I couldn't find you a property, if I couldn't help you, goodbye, right? I'm fine with it. It's an easy one. It costs you nothing. That's the beauty of most guarantees, is they actually don't cost any money, right? Like, we're so used to in real estate, like, we always want to pay money for stuff. Like, we're the biggest suckers in the world. Like, I want to sell some shit to realtors because you guys are easy to sell to. It's just it's the reality of it. Like, here's this magic widget. Just all you got to do is just sell one extra house a year and it pays for my magic widget, and people would buy it. Like, we're so easily sold, but guarantee doesn't cost you anything. You don't actually have to spend any money. Just come up with something simple. So a cancel anytime guarantee just makes people feel good. Like, hey, Brian, if we get into this relationship and we're out looking for homes and you decide this isn't a fit for you, all I ask, just shoot me a message, give me 48 hours notice, and I'll happily cancel the agreement. The last thing I want to do is be in a relationship that's not working. I want this to be a two-way relationship. I want you to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to have fun. I want to help you guys find that perfect home. So if at any reason you're not happy, you can cancel anytime. No harm, no foul, no obligation.
Does that work with sellers as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it works with buyers or sellers.
And I like that you said, give me 48 hours.
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah.
It's very important, especially more so on the seller side than
the
buyer side. So we do the same thing with sellers. Cancel anytime. Like, honestly, if I'm not getting your home sold, like if I'm not, measuring up to the bar, the expectation that I set, fire me. Like, if I can't get the job done, because the only time you're ever in this scenario is when you screwed up and you overpriced the property. That's how you end up where a seller actually wants to cancel. Is that you screwed up and you overpriced the property's not selling, the seller's like, I'm done. I'm ready for another agent. I mean, whether you had the guarantee in there or not, if a seller hits you up, it's like, Kyle, you're not getting the job done. I want to cancel. Are you really going to be like, nope, you cannot cancel. You are stuck with me for 4 more months. Like, God. Are you really going to do that?
I hope not.
Like, I dare you. Let me know how that works out for you.
If you're in San Diego, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, if you're in San Diego, do it for sure. I would love to watch the client destroy you on every review site possible. So a cancellation anytime guarantee is fantastic, especially when you're a sell side, though. You got to make sure you have a little bit of, we can call it a grace period for lack of better words. Let's give you 48 hours or 72 hours. That way, if you have an offer that might be coming in or you're in the middle of a negotiation, it gives you some time to negotiate that deal out. Gives you some time to call down the list of everybody who showed the property, throw some Hail Marys. If you're not familiar with the Hail Mary, it's like a last-ditch effort. Throw a Hail Mary, maybe you can complete it. I've never had anybody cancel, but I've had listings that are about to expire and I got like a day or two left and like I've pulled a rabbit out of the hat, right?
Yes, and that's been, you're like, hey, just go ahead and run an ad for this, starting now, ending in 12 hours. Now, I'm like, oh shit. Well, and also the thing that I really like about having that grace period is it lets them calm down a little bit before, hey, let's just wrap things up. We'll make it easy to transfer over. But it lets them calm down so that you're not fired and then they go off and write reviews right away. Yeah. Hey, I've got a couple more people that I'm talking with. Let's finish that out. And by the time you transfer over, hopefully they've calmed down from your fuck up previously and you're good to go and leaving on fairly neutral terms, not super negative terms.
Yeah. And then you can have other things, right? Like you guys have probably all seen a guaranteed sale program. And there's a variety of different ways to run that. You could say, I guarantee I'll sell your house in 30 days or I'll sell it free. Or guaranteed sold or I'll buy it, right? Those are other forms of guarantees. How do they work? I don't want to speak for everybody who runs them, but traditionally the way that the guaranteed sale programs work is you're going to agree to list it at this price and do all of these things. And then if it's not sold within this period of time, there's this price adjustment. And if it's still not sold at the end of the 30 days, I'll agree to buy it at X percent of market value. It's not a percentage, but it's a dollar amount. So there's a predefined amount that you're willing to buy it for at the end of 30 days.
And is that price, obviously it varies, but I'm curious because we've never gotten to that point.
Yeah.
Is it like 70%-ish, 60,
I'd say
80?
A lot depends on the market. 70 to 80% would be more normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it for 12% of value.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, traditionally, most of the guaranteed sale contracts I've seen is about 70 to 80% of market value.
Cool.
You're not lying, right? Now, some people argue the ethics is like, is this legit? Like, are you bait and switching people to, yeah, I guarantee I'll sell it, or I'll buy it, but I'll buy it like way down here. Like, we could argue about the ethics side of it, and that's
it's not
between.
It's not my favorite.
Right. I know Bryan is anti on that stuff, and if it's against your moral compass, that's fine. Then don't. That's a decision you've got to make. Some people are like, I don't see anything wrong with it, and Bryan is going to be like, it feels grimy to me. So that's cool. But think about what are some other guarantees, right? There's people who are running like guarantee I'll sell your home in 48 hours, 72 hours, 96 hours, whatever. Like you could run, sold in X days. There's a lot of different programs you could run, but think about it. Like some people are running these and some aren't. Are you the one who's running it or are you not? My partner here in San Diego is running a guaranteed offer program. You got to run something, right? Give people some sort of a reason other than like, I'm the best, work with me, I'm number one. According to my mom, like call me, I'll get you top dollar. Like if that's your hook, if that's your pitch is like, I'm the best, I'll get you top dollar, I'm going to work hard. Like you sound like every other freaking realtor out there. Okay. Like come with something unique, something that's going to grab people's attention. And if the message, the guarantee doesn't scare you a little bit, that might be a problem. Like it's got to be something that's got to be a little bit edgy. Like I know that I've got a good guarantee when I throw it out there and people are like, well, what if they actually don't do it? Like, all right, now we got something. Like when I can see, basically if I throw it at Bryan and he squirms a little bit, like I'm like, okay, this is a good one. That's a good one. I want to make him a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes.
Bryan is like my barometer.
Yes.
If I can make Bryan squirm, I'm on to something.
So we've talked about buyer and seller guarantees.
Yeah.
And I think what we put out, we said some that I really like, some that aren't my favorite. I want to kind of switch gears here and something that we're looking into building. And this one I really, really, really like. This is my favorite guarantee that I've ever heard. And I think something that, one, we can offer solidly that I don't feel guilty about. And two, that I think is really going to move the needle, is really going to be attractive for agents joining our team. So Kyle, why don't you talk about the guarantee that we're building for agents that join us?
Yeah. So what's the number? Everybody, I don't care if you're in San Diego or San Antonio or Sandusky, right? Everybody wants to make $100,000. That is just this bar. It's this number. It's this status that everybody wants to hit.
It's
to
on
make
my
six
dream
figures.
board.
Yeah, it's just this thing. I don't care where you're at, what industry you're in. Everybody wants to get to that point, right? That's this number that people want to get to. So knowing that that's where people want to get to, wouldn't it make sense to build a guarantee around that? So we're going to be launching a $100,000 guarantee. And the way that'll work is join our team. And within your first 12 months, you'll make $100,000. It's that simple. Because I know that if somebody joins my team and follows all of the program that we set forth for them, they will absolutely make that $100,000 and then some. And if for some reason they don't, I'll happily cut them a check because I'm only going to cut you a check if you actually followed the program. If you didn't follow the program, I don't know you shit.
Yeah.
But if you follow the program, you will legitimately make $100,000 in your first year. I don't care if you're brand new. Like we got this guy Carter joined our team. He's
just gonna talk about
he's
Carter.
like 5 months in. He's on like his 10th transaction. He's probably already hit 100, right?
Yeah,
in his
sure.
first 5 months. Like you follow the program, you make the money.
And he's doing well, but he even still he's not doing every piece of our plan, which shows me that doing 75% of the plan can still massively outdo it. Doing 45% of the plan can get you there. And so that when you said that, I go, I'm good with that because it's a good number. And again, we're not asking our agents to do anything to keep them busy. We're doing everything we can to offload as much busy work as possible and putting it on the admin staff. And then the admin staff is doing as much as we can to automate and delegate to our VA team. So we're not buried as well. But just watching people follow the plan. I mean, I know one of our agents really dove into it in March, made over $50K.
Yeah.
And so again, 1 month, And historically, that has not been our number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 person. And they crushed it in March. Seeing them being able to do that by following more of the plan than they have in the past is incredibly eye-opening. And so something I'm not worried about completing because I know how solid our plan is.
Yeah. And here's the beauty of it with this particular guarantee. If you're not following the plan, you're not even going to make it to a year with us, right? You're going to get cut anyway because you're not following the freaking plan. Follow the plan, make the money, we all win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to roll that one out.
The only way it fails is if someone follows the plan to a T.
We had one of those.
Yes.
There's one we could have stroked a check for a few years ago.
To a T. Well, yeah, and we don't do a good enough job coaching up or coaching out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we've got to make sure we put in there of like,
if you suck.
Yeah.
If you suck disclaimer.
Yeah, and I don't know how we put that. Like, obviously, we can't cut them on day 360 and be like, well, see ya, before we had to write a 98,000.
But we also have a minimum standard that you've got to close a deal a month. So if you have two quarters in a row where you don't hit a deal a month, then you're going to get cut anyway. So we would not, with that particular person, we would not have ended up in that scenario.
Correct.
You okay? You look stressed out.
Yeah, no, my headphones went weird. I didn't know if it was my headphones or the...
It's just you.
I think it's just me.
It's just you. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of that. The way that we like to wrap this up was with something we refer to as the Whissel Widget of the Week. This is something we utilize in our business that saves us time, makes us more money, or just helps us have more fun. So what do you got for us?
Mine is a new widget that I got for my camera. This will allow me to record on a external monitor as opposed to on my camera. And there's a few benefits for that. One, I have a bigger monitor. I can see it rather than the smaller screen. Two, the monitor has more options. But the big one is the camera that I got, the quality it records in is so high, it produces so much heat that my camera will actually overheat. And so this guy here, it's the Ninja Atomos 5. About $500 for this, but for the whole thing is about $1,000. And what it'll do is I just plug a little HDMI cable into here, and it will allow me to record my camera or record my footage from here. And also, this is a 1 terabyte hard drive. The 1 terabyte card for my camera is $800. This one's $112. So within one purchase, I can have a much better setup.
Love it. So the one I'm going to share with you, because I'm being a little bit of a cheater right now, is I'm going to share the exact board that we use to record this podcast. Because if you've ever listened to our podcast or watched our podcast, you've probably wondered, like, what equipment are they using? And
well, we actually did a podcast on that, Tom and I.
That's fine, but it was not a widget of the week. So the board that we utilize, yeah, I'm being resourceful because we've done like 100+ episodes and we've done like every widget. I don't get all the fun toys that Bryan gets. So I'm just cheating because I've been staring at this thing for the last 23 minutes of this episode. So the board that we use for our show is called the Rode. It's the brand RODE, and it's called the Caster Pro. This is one of the few boards that was made specific for podcast. There's a lot of mixing boards and things that are out there that people utilize for podcasts, but this is one that's dedicated and made specific to podcasting. There may be others now, but this is definitely like the OG that was built for it. And you could throw sound effects. Thomas, give me one. Boom, there we go. So you can have sound effects and stuff in there. You got all kinds of levels. I don't know. It looks like you're about to fly a freaking plane with all the controls and stuff on there. But a very, very cool device. So if you've ever wondered what do we use to record our podcast, it is the Rode Caster Pro. Yeah, I went there, Bryan.
You're going to be like, and this one. This is my widget. This plant thing. Cool.
I couldn't come up empty. I'm a salesperson, so I'm going to be resourceful, and I'm going to use whatever tools I've got available to me. So hopefully you enjoyed the show today. If you did get value out of it, if you're listening on a podcast platform, really appreciate it if you could hook us up with a review on there. That goes a long way to help grow our podcast. And then if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button along with that little bell to get notified of future episodes of the show. We drop a ton of valuable content on there. Also, go to thewhisselway.com if you have questions you want to ask us in the future. Subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, Facebook page, join our referral network, and find out about our upcoming course called the Media Mayor Mastermind. Learn everything Bryan and I have learned over the last 6 years of cranking out thousands of videos together. With that said, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Whissel Way Podcast.
See you guys next week.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.